as well on your smart speakers and on the website, and live right now, live video on Facebook and on Instagram. And we are really pleased to be joined by our next guest, who had a pretty exciting Saturday, almost inspired Kilgetty seconds to an unlikely victory against Whitland, and all done at the age of 84, taking 3 for 11. Nick Evans is our guest. Nick, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Listen, I'm really good, thank you. And it's brilliant to have you on the show, and really interested to talk about your cricketing journey in Pembrokeshire. But we do need to start with this game on Saturday, because it was in Division 6. Kilgetty were all out for 25, and we would have thought that was a score that Whitland would have chased. But then you almost inspired an unlikely victory, didn't you?
Well, it's something like that.
Very modest.
You got 6 wickets. I think that's the most wickets that Kilgetty have taken this season. So it was enjoyable. There were a couple of drop catches could have made the difference. But it was very enjoyable, I think. The weather was good, and we had an excellent tea. And you're meeting older people from yesteryear, which is always nice to see.
Tell us about your 3 wickets then, as well.
Well, it was 3 bowled.
Clean bowled?
Yeah.
Just bowling, and that's it.
Was it your canny off spin then, Nick? Was it, or your googlies, whatever you call it?
Just bowling rubbish, really. Just straight.
Line and length. Line and length. And actually, that's also not the full story, Nick, is it? Because you, I think, created a few chances as well, didn't you?
Yeah, there was a couple of drop catches, but the boys, talking to them in the changing room, they are new to cricket. And there's one player there, he wanted to take everything from outside off stick around the leg. So he was never to get very far. But they enjoyed the afternoon, and of course, it was all over by 4:30.
Yeah. Nice afternoon.
That's a sensible time, that, Nick. I like that.
Yeah.
Was there some panic in the Whitland team? Because obviously chasing a small score, to see some wickets come down, you must have thought at one point we might pull off a miraculous victory here.
Well, you think about it, because I think it's not a big score, so we'll have a swing the bat and get out. But of course, in swinging the bat, they get themselves out. So if we did take them the catches, could have been a different story.
Yeah, and let's talk about playing in Division 6 and playing with Kilgetty, Nick. And I hope you don't think I'm being rude when I say this, but no. I assume you're the oldest member of the team, and playing with some younger players in that Kilgetty dressing room. And actually, that's what Division 6 cricket is about, isn't it? Giving youngsters the chance to play.
That is important, to bring them on if they want to enjoy cricket. And it's not too long a game, so they can go back and meet their mates afterwards, which is a good thing. In the lower divisions, you've only got 35 overs, which makes a big difference. And
it's exposing them to competitive cricket, isn't it? Which is important as well for keeping them interested.
The hard ball, which some of them are just coming out of the softball cricket, coming into hard ball, and you have one on your thigh, and they think it's not very nice. But that's part of the game.
It's a great place to learn, isn't it? And how do you find that as someone who's played a bit of cricket in Pembrokeshire? Do you enjoy that, spending some time with some of those younger players and actually helping that next generation enjoy playing in the county as much as you clearly do and have?
Oh, yes, I think you pass on some knowledge to the youngsters if you can, and try and encourage them to play more often, go practicing. If they practice a little bit more, they'll improve. Some of them just don't want to come up. The trouble is they see too much of this IPL stuff, where everybody is out just whacking the ball. It's Mickey Mouse cricket, really, bringing the boundaries and just whacking the balls. And some of the shots are ridiculous in the IPL. And the youngsters try to replicate that.
I mean, Nick, you've been around obviously quite a while, and you've coached. You've had many positions on the Pembroke County Cricket Club as well. I mean, you've travelled all over the world as well. These boys would like to know where you've played, because I know. But can you tell our viewers where you have played over the last couple of decades or so?
I've been very fortunate. I took over the secretaryship of the Wales over 50s,
Yeah.
and we only had there was only one side. And the ECB, they split the country into 40 counties, and they
Right.
classed Wales as a county.
Yeah.
And in our group, then Wales group, there's Wales, Warwick, Worcester, Shropshire, Hereford, Gloucester, and Staffordshire. And you got to know the secretaries, obviously, because we played 4 games home this season and 3 away, and then vice versa the following. And then I was with Worcester. We played Worcester, and the secretary said, we're looking for some players to go to South Africa. So I asked any players, yeah. So I asked them for a deposit, and nobody came. So I turned up at Heathrow, not knowing, the only person I knew was the secretary of Worcester, 50s. And then I toured with them. And of course, we played Warwickshire, and there was an ex-England player who was a secretary of them. And then they were going to South Africa as well. So he said, you fancy coming to South Africa with us? So I went with him. And because he had played for England, and we had the President's Box in South Africa, we had a day out there. And then I went to Australia and New Zealand with Worcester and Warwickshire. Then there was an advert in the Cricketer for players to go to Argentina. So I just phoned the book and said, yeah, I wouldn't mind. So he sent me all the details, and I went to Argentina, and I met a wonderful bloke from Derbyshire, George Smith, and he had played for out cricket for the MCC. And we had a fantastic time playing in Argentina. We played in the Prince of Wales Club, Belgrano, and a school ground. It was a wonderful experience playing out there. And of course, one of the guys had a bad LBW decision. Of course, he took his shirt off and went down the bottom of the field to sulk. And of course, you weren't allowed to take your shirt off. The official came down and said, back to the changing room, nobody has bare chests.
Wow.
And then playing the Prince of Wales ground, lovely Belgrano, lovely grounds. And then as you go in, the guys at the door there with your kit, your towel, soap and everything for a shower. And then we went into Brazil for cricket, but we didn't manage to get a game there. And I went on then to Sri Lanka, India, Canada,
Amazing.
Barbados, and there was one story in Barbados. We were playing in the Garfield Sobers tournament, and this particular day I wasn't playing for the Welsh side. And then I played with Graham Jenkins from Kilgetty. Graham was the captain of the Select 11. So he said, come on. I said, okay. And of course, I'm not the best batsman in the world. But I went in about number 7 or 8 and hit a few boundaries. And I got out in the last over. But as I was coming off the field, so Garfield Sobers was coming into the ground. And he said to me, well batted, son. Well, Jenkins said, I did never believe that. He said, I hadn't seen it. So you are the all-rounder in the world saying about my batting. You don't criticise my batting.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
And then I went back a few times then, and I always got on with Sir Garfield Sobers after that. I MC the tournament out there. And he'd come around and he said, I want some food. And what a lovely bloke he was to chat to. And I'd taken some cricket balls with me, and I asked him, would he sign them? He said, well, who would want balls, cricket balls signed by me? He said, they're worth this. We had an auctioneer there, and he auctioned them all off. and we gave the money to charity, but he didn't think they were worth anything. He was so modest. And then went on to Antigua, and then we met Sir Viv Richards. And he came in, because I was with Worcester. There was some other county anyway, but because I had a Welsh cap, which I presented him with a Welsh cap. I've got a photograph here of me presenting him with a Welsh cap in Antigua, in the ground there. Wow. And he was lovely as well. Chatted. I said, "Would you like to have a game for us?" No, he said, "Bit past."
Rejected the chance of a Wales caller.
Exactly. Yeah. And he was saying how he enjoyed playing cricket in Glamorgan and how friendly the people were.
Yeah.
Which is always nice to hear.
Yes. Where's your favourite ground you've played, Nick?
Narberth.
I was going to ask home and away, so in Pembrokeshire and abroad as well.
Well, I've been very lucky to play on. I think probably the more entertaining ground was Kensington Oval in Barbados, and I'm going back to the ground before they modernised it. Okay, they took all the character away when they built all these concrete structures now, which isn't the same. But playing out in Barbados, they were so comical. We were playing one game in one of the outgrounds there, and I was feeling on the boundary, and you had the group of old guys chatting away, and it was very difficult to pick up their conversation. And one of the boys was just blocking the ball, and so one of the guys stands up and say, "Hey man, if you can't get off the pot." And playing out there in the country grounds, there was so much entertainment. Getting the cattle or the sheep or the goats off the ground before, and then there was school kids come in and just wander around the field. Nobody bothered. But yes, so you've got lots of memories, and the people. I think it's the people you meet on the way.
Yeah, definitely.
You make friends. You don't think about it, but you go and you make some wonderful friends, and you go somewhere. I'm going now with Worcester to Belgium and Holland because I haven't played cricket there, so I'm off there now in August.
Wow. And back home, you were telling us off air that you started playing in Pembrokeshire for Narberth back in the 1950s. How have you seen cricket in Pembrokeshire change? I mean, we always say on the show that actually cricket is doing pretty well in Pembrokeshire. 6 divisions, some teams put 4 sides out every weekend. How have you seen it change over the years, for better and worse, Nick?
Well, I suppose when I started off, you had just 2 divisions, really. You had Burton United, Burton Village, and all these sort of sides. And then and nobody bothered about the time. People would say, "What turn up? What happens 2, 3 o'clock? We'll have a game." And then Burton United were all farmers, and they would turn up. We'll have a game now. And 8:30, 9 o'clock, it'd be finishing on Saturday night. But nobody bothered about that. And of course, the grounds weren't like they are now. They were manicured now, but you didn't have all the mowers and that sort of thing to do the grounds. And you look at some of the grounds now. I mean, quite a number of clubs have disappeared. When you look back, I was looking at the handbook recently. How many clubs have disappeared from playing cricket? Up the north, you had Dinas, Coombe, you had Angle in the south.
I think we might just have lost Nick.
He's still showing here. He's still there, Nick?
Yeah,
I've got him. Yeah, we're back. Yeah. Sorry, I might just lost the connection.
A lot of villages have gone now, and I think boys now are going to clubs where they think they can win something. I think.
Yeah. And incredibly, your career spanned over 7 decades. That's just incredible, Nick.
Yeah.
And your stories are so fantastic. I love listening to you. I think you're a fantastic advert for Pembrokeshire cricket. You really are.
Well, I can say I've enjoyed it, and
Yeah, you
I've
certainly
been
have.
fortunate. I
And
must
you
admit-
still are, Nick.
Yeah,
Clearly.
yeah.
I'll go out on Saturday morning. They rung me up and said, "Do you fancy a game?" I said, "Go on, and I'll play." But I said, "Look, I'm not running anyway, but I'll come out and I enjoyed the afternoon."
Well, that's
If it
fantastic.
rains, there's one thing Colin, John, and I agreed with: if it comes to rain, we're off the ground. Not going fielding in the rain.
And Gordon and I were talking a bit earlier. There's an Alec Colley Cup game, I think, this week for Kilgetty seconds.
Yes.
Nick, are you, after your 3 wickets on Saturday, can they leave you out?
2020 cricket is for the youngsters, not for people
They
like
can't. They can't drop you. For
I was
that
going to
game.
say undroppable.
Oh, I don't. No, I've enjoyed it, and I'll play the league games on Saturday.
I know why you're not playing. There's no tea in the evening games. Isn't it? I know what's going on here.
Oh yeah, but in
There's a
some
bit
of
of
the
a
clubs,
trend, Nick.
some of the clubs will give me some food. They feel sorry for me.
But, listen, Gordon does always bring it back to the teas, and I might have to ask you then, Nick. Where's the best? Where's the best cricket tea? Yeah, where is the best cricket tea in Pembrokeshire?
Well, they're not the same as they were yesterday, as Gordon knows.
Quite right.
He does. Yeah.
That's why I
Oh, he
backed
does.
it.
But you haven't got the years ago. You had tea ladies. They were all.
Oh my God.
I went up to North Wales to play cricket with the over 70s, and they had 4 mature women, shall we say, and they did the teas. What a fantastic tea they put on for us.
Yeah.
Well, let's forget the cricket and we
you're
just
right.
did the tea and travel back.
Yeah, you obviously went to Hook, and there was Mrs. Wicks there. I don't know if you knew her and her.
Her husband used to
Oh,
work
the
with me in
teas
the
there
refinery.
was superb. It was like having a birthday party every week. It was
Yeah, it was.
fantastic, Nick.
But it was Harford West, Cresselly, Cairo,
Yeah.
all these
Yeah, they were
places.
great.
Listen, we could talk about cricket teas all evening. Our final question, I'll put it to Gordon then on cricket teas.
Oh, no.
What makes it good, Gord? Is it the sandwiches or is it the cakes? What makes a good
All of
tea?
it. You've got to have the lot. The sandwiches, the cakes, the tea, the squash. You've got to have a choice and variation. And they were fantastic. Nick's right. The teas years ago, they were... the tables were full. You couldn't move.
You want to go back
the
out?
players had finished and had their tea, and they couldn't get out and play cricket.
Wow,
The sun
no,
was
that-
shining. Most of them were snoozing on the side there.
That's the issue, isn't it? Yeah, that's the
You
issue.
didn't want to go back out.
Well, listen, Nick, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show, and seriously, really well bowled on Saturday.
Yeah,
and
brilliant.
your plan to keep playing as much as you can, or make yourself available this season?
Well, I look after the women's cricket.
Yeah.
They're in the Welsh Premier League.
Yeah.
And we've got 10 games in a season now. So it's Sundays. We were training last Sunday in Pembroke. And there's a lot of travelling with that cricket. So
Yeah.
if you're in the field on a Saturday, I'm not for that long anyway, but then we travel to Newport and Cardiff on a Sunday morning. It's a long day then.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think if you keep taking 3 wickets, you're going to get that phone call on a Friday night asking you to play. So keep up the great form. You're always welcome on Pure West Sport. Thank you for some brilliant stories as well.
Thank you very much for having me.
Nick, we really enjoyed that. We are going to come back for the final part of tonight's Pure West Sport next.
Yeah. Okay.
Pure West Sport
Thank you.
Show, sponsored by